Hey, welcome to the Vaughn vlog. I'm continuing to cover Falling Skies. This week's episode, it's called Sanctuary. And I have to tell you that TNT is continuing, despite their best judgment, to send me things. Now I've got the second mass patch. How you like that? I've also got my Do throwback over here to take away the pain, so let's begin. This week's episode starts off with Dr. Glass. Yeah, I actually remembered her name. It's Moon Bloodgood's character. She's attending some people, I guess maybe their kid, whatever, and the mom locks the door, and the dad pulls out a gun, and he's like, hey, I want all your painkillers, all that stuff. And she fights back a little bit, and he gets off at the things anyways, runs down the street. We then get the Falling Skies title shot, comes up. And they're then pursued as they go down a neighborhood by Tom and his crew, I guess. Also the captain or the guy in charge, whatever. Again, it's tough to remember the names when people don't really have characters. The family that's fleeing with the drugs, they get apprehended by this guy who he says he's with the 7th Massachusetts Army. And he's like, yeah, I returned the drugs, all this. I got some intel to tell you. The Skidders, they're coming for you guys. We're going to need you to take the kids, hike up this way. We need you guys to stay behind, defend the school. It's your best chance, all this stuff. And I'm like, definitely buying this. And everybody's like, well, I don't know. I worked so hard to get my kid back. I don't really want to give him up. We'll have to think about it. And he's like, okay, fine, cool. I'll just hang out here. Then we cut to Ben, who recently got the harness taken off, right? And he can do 100 push-ups, which, let me tell you a little story. This guy right here, I can do 100 one-handed, alright? So I'm not that impressed. But anyhow, they said that he didn't used to do very many, so buy that if you like. This, of course, makes Hal jealous, so he's like, oh, my brother, he, like, returned and he's not my brother anymore, you know, that kind of thing. Like, I don't know, he's just some guy, he changed, I'm scared. So you gotta deal with that as he explains that to Dr. Glass, you know, like the least interesting person in the world. Up next, everybody's dealing with their kid leaving and whatever, but of course, I can't remember his name, the little kid in the army, okay, army kid. Okay, how about that? Army kid is like, hey, I want to get back on the team. I don't really recall him getting kicked off, like, duty. Maybe it was over that dog crap. But anyways, he gets, like, said that he can do some guard patrol stuff. At this point, he goes out, okay, and then Continuity also leaves. Continuity leaves the building completely. He heads out to this post that's inside a school bus, and there's a guy there playing chess basically with himself. I think he switched out and left the game that way. I don't know. A mech shows up, and the mech shoots at them, like blasts this place. I'm like, hey, that's kind of bold. TNT just killed a kiddo. Not. Turns out that black guy died, but white army kid, he's fine. And he's on the passenger side of the school bus, so he's over on one side as the mech is ripping the door up. Cut to shot from the outside where the mech is on the other side of the school bus, and the school bus is now near the school, and there's guys up on the school shooting down. At this point, the kid runs out, and the mech is not anywhere in the shot, or you really don't even have an idea where the mech is. Maybe the mech like teleported to the other side, and the school is like gone. So he ran out and he ran into the school. Skidder shows up, fights Army Kid. Army Kid shoots the Skidder a few times. That really doesn't work. They have a little role play session, I guess. And then he's like, help, there's a Skidder. And people show up, and then Captain or Colonel, whatever the heck, the guy from Armageddon, okay, he's there, And he was in Postman also. He's there. He does the cliche thing. Oh, you think it's about to kill you? Boom! I've got a shotgun back of the head. And of course, he didn't say anything like "get down" or nothing. I mean, I'm entering. Hey, I'm coming. None of that. It's like, hey, it's cooler if I don't say anything. Then I can shoot him, and the head will explode, and none of the blood will get on me because I'm a badass. That happens. I do like how he was able to hear Army kids scream from outside somewhere with, I mean, you can't, have you ever been in a school before? Like, you don't yell and you hear it like down by the football field or whatever. That's not how that works. So we got that taken care of, and then the guy who's been kind of hanging around waiting to take the kids uphill, whatever, he finally gets his wish, and the kids leave with him along with some extra troops, which is really, you know what's going to happen. Because the guy's like, yeah, just, I'll go by myself, and you just give me all the kids, and yeah, it'll be cool. So he's got a small detail team with him. And you know this is not going to be good. They walk a little bit, they act like they went a long ways. We keep seeing the same shot of like the same street. Like, yep, we're on Main Street again. So they head through the forest, despite that not being the plans they mapped out. Of course, Hal is okay with this. He went with them, of course. Also, Lourdes, the God Girl, as she's being called, she went with them, and because she looks 15. And they go through the forest, they get some log cabin, and I'm like, okay, so what's the deal here? It turns out this guy is like selling kids to the Skitters. And that's fairly interesting in the fact that finally someone from outside the immediate community has entered the scene. It's been several episodes since we've come across anything going on. It was really weird because the family at the beginning, they're like, yeah, it's the Wild West out there. And I'm like, is it? I don't see anybody jumping by, threatening you. I mean, this isn't like freaking Road Warrior. There's no like Humongous over here, you know, doing anything to anybody. I don't see any Wild West. Sorry. So he's selling the Skitters, giving them away. I didn't see what he got for it. I guess he got to live. Really not like the best bargaining chip, really. Well, I guess I'll just do it. They should have showed us what the heck he was getting. Like, he should have got something good. Maybe some kind of deal worked out. I mean, I don't know. He just gives the kids away, basically. We'll probably find out later. The Skitters also make the sound of the Velociraptors from Jurassic Park because Steven Spielberg is executive producer of Falling Skies. So he was like, yeah, okay, well, I guess my whole... let's just limit my input to the Velociraptor effect and just call me executive producer. Yeah, it's cool. So there you go. That's Sanctuary. In other news, I may or may not be reviewing Captain America coming up. There is a situation with family members, and my appearance is requested outside of my town, outside of the state, and I could have a sacrifice in the way of what equipment is going to be available to me. I'm also quite bitter about that movie because I had contacted Marvel Studios saying that I wanted to do a combination of director, star, writer, and they never even returned my phone call. So the movie's probably not going to be very good. That's my trailer sense on that. You know, it's Captain America. He personifies America right now. Performance-enhancing drugs, cheat to win, whatever it takes. That's the American way.